Hi, Stacey here. Today I'm going to show you how we made the thread necklace from the jewellery course, the one that we didn't get round to doing on the day. This is the piece that we're going to make. It's about 18 inches long, and we can change that. I'll discuss that in a few minutes. I'll go through the tools and materials that we're going to use. So we're going to use beads, little cups here, bugle beads, and these are the findings. So the beads that we're going to use, this little guy here is a 4mm, a 6mm, and an 8mm faceted bead. And then this one is an 8mm, a 10mm, and a 12mm pearl. And then we've got small little seed beads either side as well. Now, these are bugle beads. They're small 6mm in length glass beads. They are very tiny. I find them great if you want to cover a bit of length of thread fairly quickly, because they're quite long, so they're very handy for that. We've got the size 11 seed beads either side of the bead. Now we've got two cups. We've got a small one, 4 and a 5mm. These little guys up here, they're 4 and a 5mm cup. You sometimes find when you pick them up that they are sitting one on top of the other. So what I do when I pick them up, I drop them just to make sure that they're not sitting on top of each other, because sometimes that does happen. And, you thread on two by mistake. We've got jump rings. These are 5mm jump rings. And then we've got culottes, which are these as a component you didn't see during the course. But there it is there. That's a culotte. And you can see that it's like two little cups either side there. And it's got a hook like that. And we'll be using those at the beginning of the necklace. And we've got these guys. These are tags. You use those in jewellery making. There it is, the little tag. And then we're going to use this as a bolt ring. And this goes like that. It snaps on and off like that. And the thread we're going to use is the Nymo. Nymo comes in a few different sizes. This is a size D here. A size B is thinner and a size F is thicker. But the size D is pretty good, and it's very, very strong material. It was designed originally for the upholstery trade, and beaders kind of got wind of it, and it's a very popular thread. Comes in a variety of colours, and D is probably the standard size and most useful. What we're going to do today is we're going to double up the length of the thread. So the other thing we're going to do today is the beading needles, and that these ones here are size 10 to 13. And you can just about see here, the two in the centre are the size 10. That's size 12 on that side, and on the other side is a 13. And like that, the bigger the number, the smaller it is. So the size 10 is bigger. And, it is handy to have the smaller ones, because if you're making something and you just need to go through a bead once more and the size 10 doesn't quite go through, you can drop down to a size 13 and that will usually get the job done. So they're very handy to have. But we will be using the size 10, the thicker of the three. The other thing we're going to use as well, or have at hand, I should say, is an awl. Very handy for getting knots where you want them, and also very handy for getting them out, should that happen. So we'll have an awl. And we're also going to use, towards the end, we'll use a bent nose pliers and a chain nose pliers for opening jump rings and closing the culottes. So we'll use those two tools as well. So to get started, we're going to start with a needle and thread. So I've threaded the needle already. There it is. That's the size 10. And I've measured actually 50 centimeters there. The necklace here measures 18 inches. That's approximately 46 centimeters. Now, as it happens, inches for necklaces seems to have lasted. You don't hear somebody saying, oh, it's a 46 centimeter necklace. There's 16 and 18 and so on. It's still, commonly used. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut 50 inches. That's 127 centimeters. Because 18 and 18 is 36 inches, because we're going to double it, and then some extra. So we're going to cut 50. And then that equates to about 127 centimeters. So that's what I've done. I've cut 50 inches, or approximately 130 centimeters of thread. And towards the end there, I'm going to get both pieces together like that. When you're doing anything in jewellery making or with wire or anything, it's always a good idea to just always double check that you've got both strands equal. It's all too easy to actually have one length longer than the other, and when you come towards the end, you can't finish it properly. So anyhow, we've got, there it is, the two strands, and I'm just going to make a knot at the end of that. Just an ordinary bog standard overhand knot. And that is just to stop the next bead I'm going to put on from falling off. So now, there we go. I've got the needle at that end and the little knot at the other. I'm just going to pick up a seed bead like that. Little seed bead. Have I got it? No, I haven't. There you go. And roll that. I'm going to roll that down towards the knot. Now, I actually rolled over that knot, but never mind. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take both of these and we're going to make an overhand knot around that little bead. Okay, so I'm going to take it like that and make it an ordinary overhand knot. Just put that in there. You can see the shape of the knot there like that. Now I'm going to get that a bit closer for you so you can see what I've actually done. You can see now I've made a knot around the bead, like so. Like that. I'm going to do another little knot, just to be sure, around there. Now, like that. So that's two little knots around that. Now I'm going to pick up the culotte. That's here like this. Now you pick it up that way, like that. Just show you now, like that. And you're going to pass the needle in here so that it's that direction. Like that. And I'm going to slide that down towards the bead. Like so. And it's in that direction so that it's ready to envelop the little bead that we'd hidden in there, like that. So it's ready like that. Now what I usually do is I leave any tying off, or if you're going to apply a little bit of glue or anything like that, I do all of that at the end. So for the moment, I'm going to leave that as is. It's open like that. Okay, so now the first thing I'm going to do is start threading on the beads. And we go back to our pattern here. That is the culotte. That symbolises the culotte there. We've got a little bead, and then we've got 8 bugle beads. And you just read down the pattern. So you thread on 8 bugle beads, a seed bead, a faceted bead, a little small one, and another size 11. Then you put on 8 bugle beads again, and you follow the instructions here all the way around. And then when you get round to the other side, it's a mirror image of what you've already done. Okay, till we get to the end, and I'll show you when we get to the end how to finish it off. If you wanted to make this longer or shorter, now's the time to do it. You either use less here, 5 bugle beads, 5 here if you wanted, or if you wanted to make it longer, you'd add a few more, 10 or 12, or whatever it is you wanted to make. You know, this is just somewhere to start, and really at the end of the day, it's the technique that you're learning. And this is a double thread. You can use a single thread if you wanted to. You'd have to finish it slightly different way, but there's method in my madness. The double thread for this is quite handy for finishing it off, and you'll see it towards the end how we do that. So now, next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pick up a little seed bead, like so, like that, and then I'm going to pick up 8 bugle beads. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now, according to my pattern, I've picked up my 8 bugle beads here, and then a seed bead, a 4mm faceted, and then another seed bead. So I'm going to pick up this little guy here, a seed bead, my little 4mm faceted, and another little seed bead. And I'm going to roll those down towards 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's always a good idea when you're doing any kind of a pattern to check as you go along, because it's all too easy to think that you threaded on the right amount, and then when you get usually either to the end or halfway there, you realise you've made a mistake somewhere. So check as you go along. So I've got 8 there, which is grand. Now I'm going to put on another 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now, you can see from here, I'm going to put on, I've laid mine out like this to make it easy for myself. I'm going to put a seed bead, a little faceted bead, a small cup, that's a 4mm cup. Just mindful of the direction that you're going in with the cups. You want them to sit so that they sit nicely either side of the bead. And then another one, another little cup, and then a faceted bead and a seed bead, so that it looks like that. Okay, so now I'm going to roll that down towards the end of the, and you can see it's already, you know, you can really zip along with these, the bugle beads. So now we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm going to do the same. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we pick up a seed bead, 6mm. And this is a slightly bigger cup because it's a slightly bigger, well, it's definitely a bigger bead. So I'm going to pick up a cup like that, making sure that it's going the right direction. Put on that's a 10mm pearl this time. There, and then like so. And then a little seed bead like that. Okay, so you've got that on. And then now, according to this, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Another 5 bugle beads. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And these come in a nice selection of colours too. So now we've got that. Now we're going to have a little look at the pattern here again. So now we've got a seed bead, quite a large 8mm, a cup, that's the 12mm pearl there, another cup, 8mm, and a seed bead. And I've laid them out already, so I'm just going to pick them up like that. And you know, you don't have to graduate them if you're doing your own design, but I do think it looks nice when you graduate the size of the pearls and the beads. It all looks nice in proportion. Now, Okay, so there, that's that done. Roll them down. And now we're going to do the same on the way back. It's 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now we pick up a seed bead. One of these guys. Another cup, like that. A 10mm pearl, another cup, like that. And then another faceted bead, a little seed bead. So now we've got our configuration again. And what we're going to do now is just basically the mirror image of what we've already done. So like that. Now we're going to pick up another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oops, I'm going to miss a little seed bead. Don't want to miss that out. Oh, hang on, there it is, look. Hiding. Okay, so there we are. Just double check that you've got everything the way you want it. Yep. So another 5 this time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now we're going to put on a seed bead and a small little faceted one. Little faceted bead there. Oops, I'll bring them down here so you can see. A cup. Like that. Little pearl. Another one of these. Little faceted bead. Where are you? There you go. And then a little seed bead as well. Like so. Now we roll that down. And you can see it's starting to take shape. It's quite pretty there. Got a picture of my shoes too. Hang on, there we go. Now, so we're on 8 this time. So we pick up 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then we're going to do a little seed bead and just one faceted bead on its own this time. Kind of a lead into the design. Like that. And then 8 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now, for the last one, we're going to put on a little seed bead just to finish it off. So now you can see there goes your sort of your 36 inches. You can see, and that's how much thread we've got left. So, and that's a nice, comfortable amount to manage, like that. Okay, so now we're going to put on the last cup, the last culotte, and you're going to put it on that way, in the opposite direction as you did last time. Last time we put it on that way. This time we're going to put it on this way, like so. See? Now you roll that down there. Now we're going to pick up a seed bead and roll that down. Now I'm just going to cut off the needle at this point, like so. Okay, you've got the seed bead on there. And I'm just going to take off one of those threads so that we've got the bead on one side, there it is, and the 2 threads are separated. And I'm going to pull that thread, don't pull this too tight because you don't want it to sort of pucker up. So reasonably tight. So I'm going to let that little bead roll down there. And the reason I'm doing this is because it's quite hard to get a thin thread close to the culotte. So this way, I'm going to make a little knot here. Just an ordinary knot. See that? It's an ordinary knot, and I'm going to roll that down towards the inside of the culotte. And there it is, nice and snug. And you can see now it's not too tight, but it's not too loose. You certainly don't want it to be loose. So now I'm going to do a surgeon's knot over that. So that's one. A surgeon's knot is when you go around twice. So I'm going to get the thread like that. There's one knot round. And then I'm going to go around again like that. That's a surgeon's knot. And then I'm going to roll that down towards the bead. Now, just as a matter of belt and braces, what I'm going to do next is I'm going to take the thread like that, and I'm going to make an overhand knot with both of them, like that. And I'm going to just an ordinary overhand knot. Now, if you hadn't left yourself enough thread, this would be a right pain. So it's good to have that little bit extra at the beginning. Okay, so there's our knot. I'm going to get the awl, and I'm going to just use the awl to roll in here. I'm going to see if I can zoom in a little bit more for you. There. Use that to roll in as close as you can. I'm going to pull that a little bit tight there. You can see I've got the, lucky. I've got the awl right at the very tip of the knot. There you go. And you can see there's the bead. We've got a couple of threads around it, and we've got that one there. And the reason I like to do that is because you can see now both the threads are facing upwards. They're going in the same direction. So now what we're going to do is we're going to cut those off. If you wanted to, you could put a little bit of jeweler's cement in here now, but I'm not going to do that just at the minute. So I'm just going to cut that off like that. Nice and close. And the same on the other side. I'm holding it reasonably taut. I'm going to cut that off there, like that. So now, if you wanted to, you could put a little dab of jeweler's cement in there. I'm just going to make that a little smaller so you can see. Now, I'm going to get my bent nose pliers, like that. In fact, I might just cut a tiny little bit more off that. Okay, so you put a little bit of jeweler's cement if you want to, and then you take the pliers and you grip either side of the culotte and you just pinch it home like that so that it's straight, like so. Okay, so you put that down and then you take the other one. That's got a little bit of thread sticking out as well, so I'm just going to cut that off. Then you get your bent nose pliers and you pinch that home there like that. So we've got those two are now open. So now I'm going to take one of the jump rings and I'm just going to slip it on here. Actually, I'm just going to like that. I'm going to take one of the jump rings and I'm going to slip it on there like that, like we've done before. Put the jump ring on, and I'm going to just get the tip of the culotte, and I'm just going to bend that a little bit around like that. Hold on, see if I can get that in a bit further for you. Hold on. Actually, that's not very sharp. Hold on a second, back to where I was. Get that like that, and I'm going to take the tip of the little hook on the culotte And I'm just going to pinch that home like that. So that we've got the jump ring on. And now all we're going to do is we're going to open the jump ring as we've done before. We'll take both our pliers, we get the bent nose pliers, and the cut is up here, and I'm supporting the size of the jump ring here on this side with the bent nose pliers, holding it reasonably tight. Then I'm going to get the other side and I'm opening it that way. I'm going to slip on the tag like that and then close it over like so. Then let's have a look like that. Then we get the other side, and actually I've opened this culotte, this jump ring already, so I've opened this one earlier on, so I'm just going to slip this here, the bolt ring, onto the jump ring. I'm going to close it over like so, and I'm going to pop that directly onto the little hook of the culotte, and then I'm going to bend that over a little bit more, just say a little bit more, and then pinch it home like that, and voila, you have it. Your necklace then is ready to go, and you've got a nice necklace made with bugle beads, glass beads and pearls, and that's all finished, ready to wear. Right, I hope you enjoyed that. Thanks very much. See you soon.